look, he's been trying to get on the pod for a long time. I've been blocking him at every turn. The M-Dog, we don't, he just doesn't know much about footy, and we got a Saints guy, so...
Yeah, I prefer if I was the only Saints guy on it, honestly. Like, I don't think we need that dead weight.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
Should we do a little vote? Do a little vote?
Let's do a vote. Yeah, fuck him. Yeah, sounds good.
Majority rules, anyway. But yeah.
Sounds good. All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome to All for Footy, the AFL podcast where good friends gather and gab about last week's games, this week's games, and everything in between. You can go find us on YouTube, Rumble, and Spotify. So go, please, like, comment, subscribe. I'm your host, Mr. 9 out of 9, Nathan Norman, joined, as always, by the second best podcaster in the world. It is Dan, the Big Daddy Reeby. What's up, bro?
Oh, Nathan, my fairly feathered friend. How are you, mate?
So feathered. Feathered?
Just very feathered. I mean,
yeah.
There's still no shaving going on and no hair cutting going on, so you're more feathered than you were at the start of the season. But
well, I still fight back against this notion that hair is feathers. But yeah, that's all right. Each their own.
Similar concept.
Yeah, but different. Different. Dinosaurs weren't covered in hair, were they? They were covered in feathers.
Yes, anyway, we'll move on to footy, maybe.
All right, and also joining us in the third spot, he's faster than speeding bullet, more powerful than locomotive, can leap tall buildings in a single bound. It's the man of steel, Steelo. What's up, bro?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good to be here, mate. It's getting a bit colder out in the shed, but yeah, still here, just battling on, mate.
Hey, mate, come on.
Go. Those Lions too, aren't they? Just doing nicely.
The hot
three
weather,
wins?
The hot weather is freaking...
It's on a way to get things done. It's been crazy scenes, but yeah, looking pretty handy.
3 victories to start the year. Remember last year they started off really slowly, so aren't they in just a nice little shape?
Yeah,
along with the Hawks.
Yeah, had a bit of a scare, but I think we'll get to that a bit later.
100%. I can't wait to talk
go,
about
Brizzy.
All right, well, let's jump straight into last week's games, shall we, guys? Oh, absolutely.
Do it.
All right, it was Essendon versus Port Adelaide at Marvel Stadium, Thursday night footy. Essendon 9-18-72. Port Adelaide 8-12-60. Essendon by 12 points. Just throw them in the bin. Mr. Daniel Reeby.
Oh, I mean, Port Adelaide, to me, Kenny Hinkley, he just looks Delulu with no Salulu. I mean, he just doesn't know what's happening at the moment. Wasn't it just a real takedown by the Bombers? I mean, they were due a pretty good performance, and I feel like they picked off let's not say a weak side, but a team that just didn't rock up on the night to play a hardened game of AFL footy. And the Bombers pounced and were right in it, and that obviously got them going. And hats off to Merritt, the leader, and he really stood up and had a real big night. And the Bombers, on the back of copping a lot of flack early in the season, didn't draw the biggest crowd that you might have liked for a Bombers game at a home ground, but they've turned it on and they get the W, and that's just going to keep the fans and the club just ticking at the moment. And if they can keep level pegging for a few weeks, it could be season back on, and maybe not the doom and gloom they were aiming at just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, Steelo, what do you reckon?
Yeah, man, it was disappointing from the Port Adelaide perspective, though. I thought tipped this to be a big game, though. In my ladder predictions, actually, I have Essendon just nudging Port Adelaide out of the 8. And so, but I just didn't think at this stage that Port Adelaide, I didn't think that Essendon would be ready yet. I thought that Port Adelaide would still have it over them at this time of the year. But then I figured that Essendon's going to build throughout the year, and then there'll be a force more around September. If they can just scrape through into the 8, they might be swinging at that time of year. But yeah, no, Port Adelaide already getting run over the top. So it was a bit disappointing from their perspective. I think all the midfielders, they're not polished. They don't have the cohesiveness as a unit. They're missing some gears. And they need some help.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Bell Pepper wasn't that good Like, I don't know. Has he lost a step? Is it just me?
He's come back from that injury and he's struggled a bit since. But
yeah, it doesn't seem like he's the
Didn't play
caliber
many
of
games
player he
last
was. Yeah.
He's like Bogan, like Wines as well. Same could be said about him.
Yeah.
And Boak as well. He's obviously, a veteran, hell of a player, but just doesn't have that spring in his step anymore. And so overall, and then they're still missing Butters a lot, and you can tell that they're missing him. And even Houston that they gave away, like he was just a force in there. He'd always win some ball for them, and they're just I mean, credit to Essendon though. They looked good. They looked a bit sharper.
Yeah, we got to talk about Essendon because they Draper was good. Caddy, fucking isn't Merritt like just so good? Like
he really
is goddamn good. Who's that?
Jules.
Slanko
if he's ever going to start coming on the pod, it'd be after a good win. Maybe in the next week or two, we might drag him in for just a good Bombers chat.
Well, not this weekend. The weekend after, they're playing Melbourne, so he's probably going to be on the pod after
they could get 2 in a row.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I think they're.
And also, Xavier Dersma. I mean, he's really come out of his shell a bit this year. Last year he showed some great signs, and really good to see him have a huge day on Thursday night, actually, as it was.
Yeah.
Dersme Thursday.
Dersme on Thursday. Yeah, he played good footy.
Yeah, no, I had a look. It's a very odd game, but yeah, Essendon just cinching the deal after 3/4 time, just finishing strong.
The Dome brings that out a fair bit, I find, that low-scoring battle, where the MCG, just the weekend before, we were getting some nice high-scoring footy.
Yeah.
Doggies, the next game we go into, too, quite a low-scoring tussle for most of the night. Something about the Dome on that front, you can't quite nail why it is, but
yeah. Oh, good win for Essendon. I know Julian was actually at the game, so he would have liked that.
Good supporters go.
I know he was very frustrated in the first 3 quarters, I'm sure. But that last quarter made it all worth it, didn't it? So, good luck. Essendon are doing much better than I thought they would without Jake Stringer. I thought he was going to be a massive loss to their side, and it seems like they don't even need him. But yeah, that's just how it is. All right, let's move on to the next game, shall we? Friday night football at Marvel Stadium. It's Carlton versus the Doggies. Carlton, 11-9-75. The Doggies, Footscray, 12-11-83. The Doggies by 8 points. Steelo, how good was this one?
It was sick to see the Doggies get up. It was a barn burner.
Burnt down some barns, yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy match. Astronaut, he played a bit better than he's been playing the last couple of weeks, so it was good to see. Lots of the Dogs get up and about, and it was a real physical match. And just loved enjoying the contest. Carlton, real unlucky not to get a W. They've been fighting hard.
Oh, they played good footy for a good half, and then
fell off a little bit.
So good.
Carlton are just sliding. They're just sliding. They're not having fun at all.
It's gonna be a tough year this year. A lot of just real big battles, and anyone can win on the day type of matches. And so Doggies were just that bit more physical and just wanted it more. I think they've come off a hard loss or two themselves. So
could have gone either way this one.
Tick the box and get the W.
No, for sure. Yeah, Mr. Parker would be very happy with this performance at the end of the day, but
wasn't he happy with himself?
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't be too happy with a win over Carlton like this.
It's still a great win.
I expect Carlton to beat Melbourne, mind you, but you don't want to be losing to Carlton. Losing to Carlton's a bad idea. But they just nudged it out.
Win.
They just nudged it out, so we'll
Let's give good hats off to Libba.
Give your hat off to him.
Yeah.
Oh, Libba.
Give a hurrah for his terrible tattoos. Hurrah.
Hurrah.
Hurrah. Give me 5 booms. You don't get that. I'll tell you when you're older. All right,
I'm
well.
older. How old do I have to be till you tell me?
Oh, mate, I'll let you know. All right, I'll let you know. All right, let's move on to the next game, shall we? It is Saturday football at Marvel Stadium, St Kilda versus Richmond. St Kilda 2015 135 to Richmond 7-11 53. St Kilda by 82 points. Reeves, you watched this one, didn't you?
Right, I was gonna go, but at the last minute found out that it was very packed and was gonna go with Jai, thinking that it mightn't be a big crowd.
It was very packed, really.
It was 41,000 piling into the dome up there, and
I didn't even pay attention
to all those Saints supporters. So yeah, it was a big day, and the boys just jostled along with the Tigers in the first half there, and Richmond played a bit hardy footy, and we were just sticking with them defensively. And then in the second half, 14 goals to the Saints, and we did what we did to them back in 2017, round 15, when it was the last game Richmond actually lost before they went on their streak to win the last 8 games of the year and go on to win the flag. We monstered them by 10, 12 goals. And we actually did the same to them on the weekend, and it was really good to watch. And all those youngsters coming through up forward, like Owens, just looked $1 million, and yeah, there's a couple more of them. I was just so excited. Their names are all escaping me just an inch right now. But it's good to know that we've still got Max King out of the side, and Butler and Steele didn't play on the weekend, and we got Dougal Howard down back to come back in, and just got players all over the park, not in the team.
Sinclair
and
ripping it up.
We're performing super well. So it's good signs down at Moorabbin. And let me tell you, they were swinging from the rafters down at Etihad Stadium
That's
into
unsafe.
the night. Yes, but they were.
Yeah, no, I believe
the fans, not the players.
They've been doing that for a couple of weeks, haven't they?
Oh, mate, every
so
time
bad.
we win, the people are just out there just swinging from the rafters, just enjoying the victory, soaking it all up. And getting around the players on the field after the game, which they did again. The players hanged out there for 10, 15 minutes extra, gave the crowd heaps of loving, and that's what the fans love. None of this just winning and tucking off to your rooms. You just stick out there, and we're just a proud bunch at Moorabbin at the moment. And yeah, it was a bit awkward going into Flight Centre during the week, cancelling those flights in September. But they gave me the full refund. Everything was all good, and yeah, hopefully I'll use that money for my GF tickets.
Oh, lovely.
Definitely empty the schedule. Look out.
Well, I've got to say, Callum Wilkie and Jack McRae fucked me on a multi, so I'm not really happy with that.
Oh, mate, McRae, if he isn't in the top handful of midfielders in the competition at the moment. I mean, Kane Corns begs to differ.
Sinclair got more posies.
He is. He's just a star, McRae, and thank you very much, Western Bulldogs. We've taken a ripper.
Sinclair got way more posies than him. Wasn't good.
Yeah, but he's very handy.
Killed it there.
Sinclair plays
he dominated.
A little bit more.
He was running away with it.
He plays a little bit more half-back and outside role, where McRae's playing inside, and he's getting it out, and he's getting 26-plus touches, and he's using it pretty well, and he's getting on the scoreboard. So his role is bit different than Sinclair, but
Sinclair's got 40. Sinclair's got 40 possessions.
Immensely.
Like, come on.
No, which is being fed to him all day by the great man inside there.
Yeah, McRae only got 31. Not enough. Not enough. He needed to get number 1. He needs to get most disposals.
Well, we appreciate the McRae pickup down at Moorabbin.
I don't.
The young stars are just showing a bit more as well these days down at the Saints. Like Wayne Miller is looking really good now.
He's just on one with he doing his little hot laps with the footy. When he gets it, he just goes round in circles and backwards and back over the top of someone and through their legs and back around and then handballs it to himself.
Like watching MJ or something.
He's incredible. But 50% of the time he stuffs it up, but the other 50% of the time it's elite.
Yeah, but if he's fucking up 50% of the time, he shouldn't be doing it. Anyway, fair enough.
But he gets it a lot.
Let's just wait for those elite moments, shall we?
Yeah, we'll keep watching him. I mean, right now, you would say he's still a work in progress because he needs to get a bit cleaner. But
yeah, well, that's a work in progress, and this is a podcast in progress. So let's progress to the next game.
Segue.
It was Saturday night football at the University of Tasmania Stadium. It was Hawthorn versus GWS. Hawthorn 10-16-76. GWS 9-10-64. Hawthorn by 12 points. Steelo.
Oh man, Hawthorn just getting it done down in Tasmania again. Is anyone surprised? I don't know.
No. I was feeling so smug tipping GWS by that first quarter when it was 5 goals, 7 to nothing. Nothing to 2 points. And
Hawthorn's just shown so much at this early stage in the year already. It's hard to believe.
It's incredible.
I backed them in, even though I had GWS up the top in my ladder predictions. That might have to get just a small switch with Hawks. I think I had them up there in the top 4 anyway, perhaps in second. So
we'll see how your switch goes when we get to the switch round halfway through the year.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty close anyway. So we might just leave it, but we'll see. But yeah, Hawks, man, they just link up and they got just a bit more, just so much polish now, and they're looking a lot more mature than what they are in age. So, it's getting a bit dangerous. It's getting a bit scary to think that, they're going to be in the top 4, like pretty much lock them in. So
it's looking that way. But they are still a young side. They could run out of juice before the end of the year. You know what I mean?
We'll wait and see.
Not every team can play a full season.
What do you think about it, Dan? I know you would have been keeping a close eye on this match.
I was keeping a half eye on it because I was very into the Brisbane Geelong game out of the blue. I didn't know which game was going to take my eye. Yeah. I was watching. I think because the Hawks got out to the big lead early, I got right into the Brizzy Geelong game, and then I realised a little bit into the game that I went, I'm not actually what. So then
this one's it was very
and then the comeback was on, so I found myself kind of channel hopping watching the both. But mate, the Hawks at the moment, they are just seriously impressing me. Every week I feel like, we're going to get a little stutter or maybe something, a little chink in the armour. And again, just a coaching masterclass all the way, I find. He got his moves right on the night. He just was a half a step ahead of the Giants all night. And he's got so many players that can play dual roles. And he just seemed to nail a lot of the matchups on the night, Sammy Mitchell. So I give him 3 votes on the night. I mean, the players just get out there and perform, but he just seems to have all his pieces in line and his forwards. I mean, he has between 5 to 7 goal kickers every week kicking multiple goals, and that's such a handy thing to have in any team where you're not relying on 1 to 2 or 3 players. He's got 5 to 7 genuine goal scoring options down in his forward line, and that's
one
dangerous.
goal scorer kicked more than 1 goal. That's it.
Yeah, this week. I'm just talking about across the season so far.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. Like, it's so spread out. Like,
well, but again, this week they win and they have. So this week, was probably an even more example of how much they spread it out. That they didn't even have many multiple goal kickers, but it's just
they had one.
They've been a real model to watch come back from being down.
Doesn't get talked about enough, but Sam Mitchell's influence on that is huge.
It's a real even spread on the night too. I think they rely on all players on the ground to do their job, but maybe giving all the players little jobs is a lot easier for the players to focus on. So, they're a happy team at Hawthorn at the moment, aren't they?
Did Sam Mitchell play on the weekend?
Well, he might as well have, because he's like the 19th man, the coach. He's just inspirational.
Oh, just keep saying Sammy Mitchell like he's a fucking player. Just like, I don't know, what the fuck? What are you talking about?
You're looking a bit confused there.
Yeah, I'm just sort of hang on, I'm pretty sure that's the coach, but whatever. You guys...
Good old Sammy.
So yeah, Sammy Mitchell is doing so much. He's just the coach, guys, all right? It's the players that execute the plan, all right?
Mm.
But no, it's...
he's been drilling them. He's been drilling them hard. He got them when they were young and he's taught them.
Look, but you got to say, like, goalless in the last quarter.
Well, the Giants are a bloody good team, and I mean, they're coming hard at the end there, and
goalless in the first and last quarter.
Yeah, I was going to say 2 quarters without a goal, so they're good enough to win the game in that patch in the middle. Which there's plenty of room for improvement in what the Hawks are doing. Let's not say that they're perfect or playing the world's best footy. They just keep finding a way I reckon, tactically in most games. They keep working out oppositions pretty well. And because they have such a variety within their walls, they can kind of be adaptable to most games and change their style. Hence, playing a bit differently and being quite unpredictable. There's something to like about what they're doing.
Yeah. Look, they're exciting. They're exciting to watch. And the fact that they came back from a zero goal first quarter to beat one of the top teams considered in the comp. Well, actually, I don't know. I should stop saying that because I reckon Adelaide are making a good case for that. But we'll get there.
Very much so.
Well, we'll move on to the next game. Brisbane versus Geelong at the Gabba. Brisbane 10-10-70 to Geelong 9-7-61. It was Brisbane by 9 points. Steelo!
This is a crazy match.
Fucking crazy.
This was a crazy match. I'm not going to lie.
Shitting yourself at
halftime. So worried. I was watching very intently until halftime, and I just I tuned out. I got so pissed off. I couldn't believe that we were losing by that much to Geelong. You know, in our conditions at home.
No, fair enough.
I called up the missus and I said, "I need to see you, darling. I'm sad," and tuned out of the game. No, I was watching. I was trying to win. I was actually with her. I was trying to win her over as a Lions supporter, and it's not what we want to produce in the first half. If you want to get fans, because they're all going to nick off. It was ugly first half. Just so many skill errors, both ways, both teams. But then credit to Geelong, they just came out firing and ready to play, ready to pounce.
Yeah, it was very sloppy, wouldn't you say, Steelo?
Oh mate, it was so slippery.
It was like the Huck tour of football games, don't you reckon, Steelo?
Lucky it wasn't a cyclone, though.
Lucky it wasn't a cyclone. That could have been worse. Thankfully, hey, look, who knows what would have won? Who would have won in opening round? Who knows? Could have gone a totally different way. Butterfly effect and all. But
yeah, well, it was in the end. The Lions boys, they got hold of it, and the Gabba it drained out. It got a little bit drier, easier to handle, and the Lions boys started hitting some targets and playing keepings off a little bit. And
Training session, you reckon, at the end, mate?
No. They were definitely dialed in. Yeah, that was definitely fight every second of the way.
And it was good to see that the boys dig in, though, and really care for a match this early in the year, you know, after winning the premiership last year. It would be very easy to just say, oh, we're going to lose, you know, we might lose a few, and just, you know, not put that effort in that they did in the third and fourth. And no, credit to them, they dug in, and boys are looking pretty handy, you know, some different names popping up, but still some perennials as well, like Dunkley had another ripper.
Ashcroft just reminds me of Marcus Ashcroft, and I'm just like, I want you to do good, buddy, just because I used to know your dad, you know. But in reality, I didn't know his dad.
Good on the weekend. Man, Will played a ripper. That was probably one of the best games I've seen him play.
Yeah, no, he did a good part.
He's getting a bit more skillful and, you know, just a bit more efficient with his disposal.
Yeah. McCluggage's gun. You got some players over there. You got some players.
Yeah, Clugger's looking like Simon Black at the moment, just cleaning up, you know, ball on the ground. He doesn't mind a contested possession, but then when he gets on the outside, he's dangerous. So he's looking pretty classy at the moment, McCluggage.
Oh, fair enough.
Who was the first one between you two? Who was the last club to go back to back in a premiership?
Brisbane.
Steelo?
The last club to go back to back would be Richmond.
Back to back in a premiership.
Was that Richmond? Did they do that?
No, they just won
I believe
one,
it was Richmond. No, they won.
But he said out of us two.
And 20.
He said out of us
17. Yeah, no, won 19 and 20 back to back. So yeah, it was Richmond.
Yeah, but you said out of us two. You didn't say out of all teams. You said out of us two. So out of Melbourne and Brisbane, and I said Brisbane.
No. I meant between you two. Hot trivia. First one to get it.
Oh, well, I thought you meant us two, our two teams, respectively.
No, because Melbourne have never won back-to-back flags.
We have. It was like the 50s, but we did.
Oh, yeah, you did too.
It was the roaring 50s.
But, no, Nathan, no. That would have been too easy, because Brisbane, obviously, out of you two was...
Yeah, they had the three-peat. I remember the three-peat.
But Brisbane, they're a good chance to rumble into a repeat this year. I mean,
They could. First
geez,
team in a while.
Looking very good. Good win again there, Steelo.
Yeah, pretty
I had
handy.
a friend.
Oh, you go.
I had a friend who lives up in the Gold Coast. Head along to the game. You guys probably don't know him.
No, I definitely don't. I don't know anybody that went to the game.
But he went along with his boy Louis, and you know,
Definitely
Louis is
don't know him.
great young footballer coming through the ranks. Young nipper these days. He's a nipper. Really doing well at that.
Sounds like a slur.
Took him along to the Gabba for the game, and yes, it must have been a long train ride home that night with Louis. But yes, hats off to all those Cats fans that put in the effort to attempt to go and watch their team win a game.
Yeah, look,
the wheels would have been turning for a long time on that train home.
Oh, it would have been a lot of turning of wheels on the way back. But yes.
Yeah, no, well, look, I'm happy you got the win, Steelo, but honestly, I would have preferred Geelong to get the win. Because, I want Louis to get it's his first game. I don't want to teach Louis about disappointment this early in his life. Like, you got to go, the first game you got to win. I blame Ryan. He should never have moved to the Gold Coast. He should have stayed in Melbourne so he could take little Louis to a Geelong-Melbourne game. And then, bam, easy victory. First game. That's it. But
I mean, more of a guaranteed thing.
Yeah, exactly. But no, you take him to go see the reigning premiers. Yeah. Well.
Bad move by that guy. But I won't mention his name on the podcast because you guys don't know him. So.
No, absolutely not. Even though I just spoke about how I knew him. That's all right.
A different person.
Let's move on to friend. Let's move on to the next game. Adelaide versus North Melbourne at Adelaide Oval. Adelaide 17-12, 114. North Melbourne 12-6, 78. Adelaide by 36 points. Daniel, I actually think North didn't do too bad, all things considered. But Adelaide
I was giving it a little samosa with Paddy today because we like to run over every game just so I get filled with a bit of stuff from Paddy, and we kind of bounce a few things back and forth. And geez, I gave North a bit of props, and he didn't want to hear about it. He goes, "Mate, they lost by 6 goals," and I go, "Yeah, but they played
North
good footy."
And it's
in
Adelaide.
The middle there. I was judging the footy, and obviously Adelaide got a handle of them, but Adelaide have beaten teams by 60 points already this year.
Absolutely. So, and half decent sides. They've embarrassed.
But listening to Clarko, he also was a bit like Paddy. He said no time for losses, so not going to cop a 6-goal loss.
That's the mindset North need to have. But yeah, absolutely.
So it was very positive. I thought it was good because I honestly feel like they played really good footy there for patches. I watched along and, just some of the youngsters coming up and Larky up forward. I mean, he just presents such a target.
Oh, he's so
good.
And
when they're getting the ball down to him with ease, because they've got some really good midfielders coming through. So North, they're really getting somewhere, I find. And, guys like Jai Simpkins stepping up and having a big game for him on the weekend. And another one for me, just young Sheasel. I just think he's going to become an AFL star. And
where do you think they're going to go when their contract runs up?
Well, North are building an army of players that are going to do it for the club here, and they know that if they get some success, that they can, or that'll take them further than just going off for a contract in the unknown. Of look at Dylan Shield and these blokes that have just ended up at clubs. That it doesn't mean you're going to do anything great with your career. So I feel like North are getting a good crew here that believe they're going to be the crop of players that
carry this
has
club
an era
into
at North Melbourne. Yeah, and the money's going to come for the money will come for them if they perform hard enough, and all that thing will take care of itself. But good luck to them at the moment, I reckon. And the performance on the weekend just showed glimpses. They'll break it down during the week, I'm sure, and find the gold and keep churning. But they're definitely on their way, and there's a couple of really interesting matches coming up. And one I've eyed off is in about 3 weeks. Carlton versus North Melbourne.
Oh, okay. That'll be interesting. Oh, Carlton fans would be so miserable if North win.
Yeah, because Carlton also have West Coast in between, which they might think that they're banking a win there or something. But
I wouldn't be comfortable. I wouldn't be comfortable with that.
Yeah, so doesn't that shape up a bit juicy in a couple more weeks?
Still, I would think to add.
But obviously Adelaide as well. I mean, they're playing remarkable footy too. So
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Bit dangerous, the Adelaide.
Yeah, no, I had Fogarty, Walker, and Larkey down for 2 goals each in a multi, and they pulled through for me, but just one disposal getter just didn't pull through for me, bastard.
And Stillthorpe, how many goals Stillthorpe kicked?
3, he kicked 3.
Yeah,
looking so dangerous.
he's plenty. Saw him take a rip mark.
Yeah, Alex Neil-Bullen not getting 15 disposals ruined me. I'm not happy about it.
Didn't he get 15? I was about to say he had a nice game.
No, he did have a nice
really
game.
handy things.
No, yeah, he did have a nice game, and he got a nice little goal, and you know
he must have got 14, 13,
12,
13.
12. Yeah,
that's stiff.
Yeah, I wasn't happy. I thought he'd get the 15 for sure because I thought like he was a Fordman. So
such a good team at the moment, Adelaide. You wouldn't want to come up against them. Like they just got a good recipe, and it's pretty simple and it works. Simple and effective. So, you know, look out. The big forwards are always resting down there, and just watch out, mate.
I think I have to pivot to Adelaide to my favourites. Like I really do think I'm riding pretty high on them so far.
We might have the Sheffield Shield, which has just been won by South Australia this year, which is the first time in 29 years that the Sackers have saluted. So hats off to the team, South Australia, winning the Sheffield Shield this year. And imagine Adelaide win the AFL Premiership in one season. You have the Adelaide double.
Hey, they could do it. Could be an international grand final. Brisbane versus Adelaide. Could be doing it.
Everyone would say that gather round was the thing that first started that.
Absolutely.
It was all because of gather round.
First thing that started what?
Adelaide
started that sequence of then Adelaide started playing well, and you know they won the Sheffield Shield SA.
Do you reckon gather round got them into winning the Sheffield Shield?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Got to say something positive about gather round. So that's what it is. Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that myself, but people are going to be saying it, mate.
Long-winded bow, but
people said it. All right, well, let's move on to the next game, shall we? And it's the last game of the round. Sunday football at Optus Stadium. West Coast 10-8-68 to Fremantle 15-16, 106. Fremantle by 38 points. Who'd have thought it? Cielo, what do you think of the battle for the Derby? Derby
Holy
Bridge.
moly, this was wild. It was wild.
Wild as a chicken and a biscuit.
In the win here, they were big favourites, and I was just a bit worried about this match, to be honest. It was one of those ones I thought could have gone easily the other way before the match started. But then, it was good to see Freo just assert their dominance, a bit more structure than West Coast, and a lot smarter, smarter with their ball use.
But you never know with the Derby because it sort of like current form disappears for the teams. Like it's all because I'm pretty sure West Coast knocked off Freo last year, so.
Yeah, definitely. It's always a physical one, and you got to rock up for all 4 quarters, that's for sure. And Freo sort of they did run away with it in the end in the second half, but West Coast put in another. It was a valiant performance. I thought they were there for a bit in the contest. Yeah, they didn't give up.
I think Freo started running away in the second quarter and didn't stop. Like it was so dominant. But you say West Coast didn't give up, didn't they? Didn't they? I don't know, man. I don't think they had that good a night. But yeah, Reeves, got anything to say? This one for Fabs. Yeah, let's Fabs have it.
Enjoying listening to you two break down the game. That was quite insightful. But look, I mean, Caleb Sarong to me was probably one of the guys for Freo that just really led the charge. Luke Jackson and Brayshaw pretty mainstays, and they really just got their hands dirty this week, Freo. I think the last few weeks they've been caught trying to be a bit cute and trying to, maybe manufacture a brand of footy that's a bit, kind of hit and miss. But this week they really just played to their strengths. They just kicked the ball into the middle and ran with numbers and kicked it to their tools up forward, which works for them. And they have good small forwards that can complement it. And
yeah, Tracy, I miss, yeah.
So, yeah, and they run the ball well when they get going. So I think they've really just got to back themselves. It's like playing good golf, sometimes you can't think about it, you just got to do it, and Freo are that sort of team, and when it works and they're really pretty, but when it doesn't, they look really hesitant, like they're thinking a lot. And yeah, so I just feel like on the weekend they really got into gear and just played their brand of footy and really enjoyed just getting on top. Didn't they? And they really belted it out at the end, and they were up by close to 50 towards the end, which was nice to see, and they won by... So what was the margin in the end, Nath? About 38 points, yeah. West Coast pushed right till the end. I'll see what Steelo means by, like, they really tried hard all night, but that was probably the difference in the two teams, that West Coast didn't exactly have a bad day or anything. I think they tried hard. Harley Reid really needs to channel his aggression into the footy a bit more.
He seemed a bit aggressive, didn't he?
Oh, he's a wild child, that kid, and I'll actually love it. I
love to watch it.
But at the moment, I'd just love to see him almost get put down a full forward or something, or let's really let him channel his energy into just being a bull. But just, like, he gets around it so much in the midfield, and the other midfielders are really pushing and shoving him because they know that he's an easy target and he's going to crack.
Well, he's young and he's got all this pressure on him of being like the next Jesus Christ, essentially, so yeah.
Oh, mate, he grew up, dominating in the comp there up on the Yarrawonga, up across the Murray there, and he's just a star junior player, and you can see the swagger on him, and he's got a bit of body size, which... I really feel like they got to slim him down just an inch too and really get him a bit leaner, and he'll get a lot stronger there instead of just being heavy set. And there's a lot to play out with the Harley Reid story. There's going to be a few years until he really finds his best footy, I reckon.
Yeah.
Well, I like good player though. What a star he could be, mate. He's run out of the middle. Like he does it once or twice every game, where he runs out of the middle and has a shot at goal. Chris Judd-like. So, and that's the sign of talented players, when you can get a midfield clearance and have a bounce and have a shot at goal. Not many players in the comp do that stuff. So, there's plenty of petrol to burn there, but let's just hope he burns it well before it burns out.
I think a lot of people before him have burnt out, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, no, insanely talented. He's going to be something big one day.
In the Battle of the Bridge.
We'll just have to see how his things went. All right. Well, Collingwood and Sydney have the bye, so we go straight into the tipping results, guys. Do you know how many people got 7 out of 8 tips right this week?
No idea.
8 people.
Shit.
8 people. So Rob, Fenno, Surf and Sammy, Steelo, Millie Moo, Runnin' Late, Paddy Reeby, and Joe all got 7 out of 8 this week.
Let's go.
So, I'm not happy. Congratulations to all of them. I got a 6.
Yeah.
Steelo, I read you got 7. Reeby, you got a 4, unfortunately.
Man, it was a really bad week for me.
It was going to be a divisive.
Well, started off so well too. I tipped Essendon.
Because, you tipped Essendon, and that's the only roughie that actually won. That's why all these people got 7. They all just tipped the favourites. They didn't get Essendon at the beginning of the round, then the favourites all won all the way through. It was alright for me, because I had a multi down on all the favourites. But you know me, I don't tip all the favourites. I go off my own judgment and whatnot. So I only got a 6, but all these people tipping the favourites, shame on you. Shame on you.
I'd like to give a shout out to Minwoo Lee winning the Texas Open overnight over there in the States.
This isn't really the spot to do it, but yeah.
Well, it is, because we can talk gambling during tips, and I won a nice $700 multi off Minwoo, so thanks Minwoo, and well played.
Yeah, more of a closing thought, but that's alright. Well, if you're going to say that, I put multi down on all the favourites winning, except for the Essendon Port Adelaide one, so I won a cool $28. Thank you very much. Goes in the kitty for the end of the year. But back to the actual tips, Jesus Christ. The top 5. Oh, you got Pollywaffle Bites. Nice. Oh, well. All right, the top 5 for the round. Running Late, number 5. Atomic Shadows, number 4. All on both on 20. Mickey B, the M Dog, 21.
Another Saints supporter.
Jim Bob Parker, 21. And
Bombers.
Fenno at the top of the pack, 21. All on margin.
Is that Balin's uncle?
I think that's Balin's uncle. Balin not in
right.
Balin's not in the tips this year.
Balin not in the tips. He's my favourite junior footy player coming through the ranks.
Balin and Tippin from abroad are the only 2 people from last year that did not come in this year. So
I'm taking the tipping seriously though this year. Last year was just my warm up.
Yeah,
I haven't done the tipping in a while. I was too busy focused on the super coach, but now I'm onto the tipping. And look out, mate. I've just found my rhythm.
Fair enough.
And taking it seriously.
And good to see Millie Moo and Surf and Sammy and Atomic Shadows and Paddy Reeve all having better years than last year.
Well, Millie Moo joined this year, and she's doing pretty well. Coming 8th. Good shout out to Millie Moo. But yeah, Mel Fan is the only person I have no idea who they are in the tipping group. Is that Melinda?
Nah. Well, Mum's Millie Moo.
No, she can't be Millie Moo.
Moo.
Who's Millie Moo?
Millie Moo is Melly. Kirsty's friend.
I think Mel Fan's got to be...
Okay, so Mum must be Mel Fan then.
Must be. If she's doing her tips, yeah, that must be Melinda. She's a fan of herself.
I'm pretty sure she's told me her name was Millie Moo because her cat's name's Moo Moo. Millie Moo.
Oh, well, then maybe when I asked... Yeah, maybe it's the Mel Fan. But that doesn't make sense because her name's Millie. And she's a St Kilda supporter. So
this is really interesting because we'll have to get both of them to maybe comment on the page on the All for Footy page, and they can work out.
They could just post on the wall of the tipping group. But yeah,
who is Millie Moo and who is Mel Fan? We'd like to know.
Well, we know who they are, but we just don't know. Yeah, okay, we're just confused on which way around. But
where's my car?
Shout out to Molian at the bottom. Got 3 tips this week. Molian right at the bottom, followed by the Doctor, and followed by Mr. Parker. All 3 of you at the bottom.
Parker.
You love to see it though.
Now I have to say, Molian, he is only tipping the teams he wants to win. He doesn't tip. He's not tipping for who he thinks is going to win. He's just tipping who he wants to win. So he's never tipping Melbourne. He's always tipping Essendon. He's always tipping against Carlton. And when they overlap, when Carlton and Melbourne meet, that'll be interesting.
It makes it interesting. I always like looking at his tips. Just to see who is backing in.
Yeah, I thought it was Kiss of Death, but he's just like, no, it's not Kiss of Death. It is just who I want to win. It's like, oh, cool. Kiss of Death it is, essentially.
He gets half of them right, and they're not the ones he'd expect either.
Yeah, exactly. He got Essendon right. He got the first one of the round right. But yeah, it was pretty interesting.
Something to learn from.
Absolutely. All right, well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to get into this week's games.
Oh, this is what I'm here for.
This is what you're here for. I thought you were here to do a podcast, bro. Thursday night football at the G. It is Collingwood versus Carlton. Raby.
Oh, well, I mean, it's hard to give Carlton much credit in this game, isn't it? I mean, Collingwood have been playing good footy and Carlton just aren't showing us much. So, I think I'm going to stick with Collingwood getting a solid 5-6 goal victory here.
Yep. Solid. Steelo?
Oh, that's going to be a huge one. Jeez, you wouldn't want to be on the train back home as a Carlton supporter after another loss.
Oh, big.
I don't know if many Carlton supporters will actually brave that, but there's going to be tough conditions with the Collingwood supporters. Oh, geez. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, I'm going to back the Pies in. We'll wait and see what happens. Exciting times.
Yeah, Raby said it was a great team. Collingwood have been playing great. I disagree. I think Collingwood have been playing all right. Carlton have been playing terribly. So it's very hard. Very hard. I don't see many people riding for Carlton this week.
100%.
So, yeah, I'm going to have to tip Collingwood as well. But I'm going to put in a 1-point margin. Carlton, they can keep it close, maybe. We'll see. All right, Friday night football at GMHBA Stadium. It is Geelong versus Melbourne. Go D's. Reeby, who you got?
Look, I'm going to have to jump off your friend train and jump on another friend train and go the Cats.
Yeah. Nuff said, Steelo.
Yeah, the Cats back at home, I think. They're putting a good performance up against the Lions, and yeah, back at home, it's a fortress.
Yep, Geelong are going to stomp all over Melbourne. Melbourne got no chance. But good to see Friday night football for Melbourne. All right. Saturday football at People First Stadium. It is Gold Coast versus Adelaide. Reeves.
Yeah, well, isn't this one heated up as a bit of a contest? Gold Coast, obviously, love playing at home.
They do.
There's just that little element there where they've been travelling well, and now they're going to get back on their home deck. And Adelaide heading up to the Gold Coast, so it probably evens them out of touch. And this game just turns into a 50-50 absolute juicy Saturday watch, doesn't it?
I reckon it's going to be good.
Yeah. I mean, early days, I was leaning towards Adelaide just because of how good they're playing, but I just feel like Gold Coast are going to be pretty schmuck up there, and they're not going to be easy to beat. And the warm weather, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Adelaide obviously play in warm weather too. It's not like it's going to be a concern to them.
Just so you know, Gold Coast have been tipped overwhelmingly. They're overwhelmingly the favourites. It's like 71%.
Yes, it is only Monday. But...
I know, but it's there,
I mean, sorry, it's Tuesday. But
it's Monday.
Well, I am going to go out on the fact that the Gold Coast win at home all year.
Yep, fair. Steelo.
I think I'm going to stick to a simple motto with them. At home, you tip them.
Yeah, this is a real 50-50 one, I reckon, in my eyes.
Well, they went to the G last week, so...
Yeah, I reckon I might have to tip Adelaide on this one.
Yep. I too am going to tip Adelaide because I am behind them at the moment. I like what I see. They just look real dominant, and I reckon if they can continue that all the way through finals time, yeah. Look, I'm just putting my money where my mouth is.
Probably the best forward line in the league in my eyes.
Yeah, they've got solid list. They've got a list of men playing football. So good for them. All right, moving on to the next game. It is Saturday football at the MCG. It is Richmond versus Brisbane. Reeby.
I'm going to simply say Brisbane.
Steelo.
Oh, mate, we're going to unfurl the flag down here. It's going to be great to go along and see this. I'm looking forward to it. Going to be a resounding victory. Yeah, let's go Lions.
Are you going?
Yeah, mate, you know it. I'm going to be heading down for sure.
A good day to go to the footy.
Good stuff.
Bring the lady.
Oh, lovely. Get her in. Get her involved.
Oh, mate. We're buying a lot of fast food and, a lot of drink.
Before the season starts for the Kangas. Still no footy yet. Is it a couple of weeks? Is that correct?
What? Isn't round one this week?
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, just coming up very shortly. Not this weekend, but the next weekend, I believe.
Oh, nice. Okay. Round one for the Kangas.
He's going to be playing
Can't wait to start getting some results.
Bam. Well, talking about the Kangas... I'm going Brisbane as well, of course. Fuck Richmond. All right. Also, talking about the Kangas, let's move on to Saturday night football at Marvel Stadium. It is North Melbourne versus Sydney, and the only game on Saturday night. Reeves, who you got?
Yeah, this is quite a rivalry from the late 90s, early 2000s. These teams used to play some corkers. It takes us back to the 1996 grand final too, this year of the centenary of the AFL. And just to think that North Melbourne could potentially, and they actually already are above Sydney on the ladder, but they could genuinely get Sydney here. I mean, I think this game's pretty 50-50. Sydney... going along all right. Probably a bit more in that Collingwood boat that you were saying before, Nathan. I probably did overstate Collingwood as going great so far early. But I think they're rattling along pretty well, Collingwood. That's probably more my thing.
Yeah, they're going all right.
Sydney in that boat as well. They're not going badly, but they're definitely not world beating at the moment. So big game for Sydney. You know, they're really going to want to win it. But I just think North Melbourne could be a party stopper here. And, I reckon I might tip North Melbourne.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Steelo, who you got?
Cool.
Relentless entries to 50. They just keep bombing it in there, North. They get a lot of looks at it.
Yeah, wow. All right, this will be interesting then. I think I'm going to have to tip Sydney, but yeah, Luke Parker against his old team.
Fair enough.
And North, it does feel like one of those games that North, it's just got that feeling where North could take this away for whatever reason. But, you know, Sydney's shown a chink in their armour early in the year. But you'd hope they're better than that and that they'd get it done. But yeah, could be the turning point for North if they get this win.
Could be.
I'll tip the Swans at this stage.
Yeah, I'm going Bloods.
Bloods.
The Bloods, man. All right. Moving on to the next game. Sunday football at NG Stadium. It is GWS versus West Coast. I don't know. Pretty obvious. What do you reckon, Reeves?
Oh, look, I'm all over the Giants here. I mean, West Coast aren't going to be able to show 4 quarters of footy against the Giants, and I know they're going to be hungry to bank this 4 points, so probably one of the easier predictions of the week.
Yeah. Steelo?
Yeah, the Giants just going to catch the bird out of the air and just eat its head.
Yeah. No.
Tear it off.
Yeah, GWS, easy as. They're gonna want to. They're gonna be looking for blood this week after last week, and they're gonna get it. They're gonna get their pound of flesh. All right, moving on. Next game, Sunday football at Adelaide Oval. It is Port Adelaide versus St Kilda. Reeby, you trembling?
I am going to be tipping the Sainers. I reckon
Jesus.
our brand of footy at the moment, it's very fast moving, and at the moment I don't see why we wouldn't go to Port Adelaide and show them how to move the ball. I mean, we're going to be moving that thing pretty friskly end to end, and they're going to have to keep up with us, I feel, and I'll give us a solid 3 to 4 goal victory here.
Oh, nice. Steelo, you on the friend train?
Yeah, well, I wonder if Port will continue to be the hardest team for me to tip correctly. Geez, they've been tough for me, but yeah, I reckon I'm going to have to get on the Saints train. I'm getting on the friend train.
Lovely.
They won't let you down. They won't let you down this week. Rowan Marshall and the boys playing great footy, and they'll be heading off to Adelaide and staying the week for Gather Round the next week. So they're playing Port, and they're going to gather themselves in Adelaide and stay instead of heading back to Moorabbin, and then have a nice week. So they're on tour and off. They're taking golf clubs, and they're literally having a bit of break while they're there in between, and they get to enjoy another game of footy against the Giants the following week for Gather Round.
This one seems like it could be match of the round, though. It should be a close game, I reckon.
It'll be a great game on the Sunday there.
It has the potential.
We'll see if Port are able to bounce back. Or else, the Saints. We'll see if Saints footy is up and about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're moving the ball well. That's the main thing you like to see. And, go Saints.
Hey, I'm
3 in a row.
I'm 100% on the friend train. My good friend Sammy Bell Pepper, I'm riding with him this week. And,
go Bell Pepper.
So, yeah, we're going to be going on Port. I hope he has a bit of a better showing this week than he did last. But, hey, look. St Kilda's fairy tale is coming to an end. I'm sorry.
It was roasted last week.
Yeah. Maybe I should tip Saints. Oh, well. Look, I'm committed. I'm committed. All right, moving on to the next game and the last game. Sunday football at Optus Stadium. It is Fremantle versus the Western Bulldogs. Reeby, who you got?
Oh,
which friend?
Absolute humdinger.
Rick versus Fabs. Who you got?
Wow. I mean, I feel like I'm going to have to say I like Fabs more.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, I just think that
he listens to the pod. Yeah,
he offers more, and I don't know why, but I just think I might stick in Fabs's corner. I see less of him. Maybe if they lose, then I won't. I don't know, but yeah, I'll go with Fabs.
All right.
Is that a tip? Can I say I go with Fabs?
That's a tip. I'm locking that in. Steelo, who you got, Rick or Fabs?
Jeez, mate, this is a tough one, man. Oh, Oh, it's could be another ripper match. I just haven't seen enough of Fremantle playing convincing footy.
No, you haven't, have you?
But up at home, it gives them a little advantage.
Yeah,
So
and doggies are wobbling. They're wobbling.
pretty even. But yeah, I'll have to lock in the doggies. Lock in Rick.
Lovely, lovely. All right,
Good to see you, mate.
I'm not
Where is
boiling.
he?
I'm not boiling my friendships just down to two people. So I think the Fremantle Football Club will beat the Western Bulldogs.
Oh.
And I hope my good friend Rick Parker is not offended by that, because I love him. All right. Well, with Essendon and Hawthorn with the bye, till probably Essendon, they're pretty exciting lately. They're getting some wins, and Hawthorn, they're looking pretty good as well. It's pretty disappointing that they're not playing this round, but oh well. We'll get there. We'll get there next week.
Hawthorn have played all 4 games and have won all 4. So, it's almost a hard-earned little break, this one, after their little start to the year and playing that extra game with the opening round. And then obviously playing through until they got their bye now. So, big tick to Hawthorn, I reckon, to get through and now have a bye where a few of the other byes have been a little bit unnecessary, let's say. Like Sydney were on a week and then off, and then obviously off at the first week, and then only played 1 game in 3 weeks or something. And
yeah,
it's been a bit stagnant-y, but Hawthorn seem to have got the dream run through it here, where they had a solid block of 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
And now they get the 1 week off, just to prime up again. And hasn't it all come up Millhouse for Hawthorn?
Yeah, I guess it has. But then again, there's 4 teams that have only won this year, not known defeat. And
4 teams? Yes,
4
no,
teams.
but not the 4 games, though, I'm saying, as in...
No, not 4
games.
games. I'm saying 4 teams haven't tasted defeat this year. They haven't gotten a loss. I know they've played less. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Gold Coast have only played 2 games, haven't they?
Exactly.
So
So
all very interesting for the numerologists out there.
no, they'll get there. They'll get there. Hopefully, they'll get their first loss this weekend. But yeah,
Well, they won't win this week.
oh, Gold Coast.
No, Hawthorn.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Gold Coast, but that's all right. But yeah, all right. Well, that's it for this week's games. Let's move on to closing thoughts, Mr. Daniel Reeby. What are your closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts. You always catch me out very much when you bring up closing thoughts.
Very muchly.
Maybe I'll just rattle off a bit of a page of the book that I've been reading. I actually read along... One of my favourite authors, actually, is...
Robert Pattinson.
David Schwartz and Mark Allen, Marco. They wrote a little book called Dad's Joke. Dad's Joke Book. I don't know. It's just a book that I read. It lives on the side of my bed. And very serious book, though. It has lots of good stories about things. And
yes, very high-level elite reading.
What kind of pizza do dogs eat? Pepperoni. And what did the fisherman say to the magician?
What?
Pick a cod, any cod. Why was the student's report card wet? Because it was below sea level. Why do Olympian sprinters eat before a race? Oh, sorry. What do Olympian sprinters eat before a race? I need to learn to read, don't I? They eat nothing. They fast.
Let's not. All right, let's stop it there. All right.
I really ruined it with that one.
Yeah, fuck you, Steeler.
One more good one. This is my favourite one. I saved my best one for last.
All right. Final one. Go.
What's worse than finding a worm in your apple?
What's that?
Apple in your worm.
Finding half a worm. Because I mean, you're probably eating the other half.
Oh, no.
I get it. It's only half a worm. Like, it's a midget worm, and we don't like midget worms. I get you.
No, it was a full worm, but you've eaten the other half. That's why there's only half.
No, it's a midget worm. I don't think you get the joke. Steelo, closing thoughts.
Oh, mate, no, it's good. You got to do your reading. Just reading my old book of colloquialisms. And, mate, just realise that, one day I want to be a king in a grass castle. And yeah, so that's me, mate.
That's my close. That's your closing thoughts. Nicely done. Nicely done.
King in a glass castle.
Grass, mate. Yeah.
Grass.
Oh, grass.
He likes
King in
grass. Gosh. Gosh. All right. Well, my closing thoughts are this Wednesday night, midnight. Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, revealing the Nintendo Switch 2 and all the games coming to it at launch. My Bruce Rando is going to be streaming the reaction over live on his YouTube channel. Please head over, follow, like him, give him a shot. And he's going to be reacting live to the Nintendo Direct and then posting it as a video to YouTube. So that'll be good. Go check that out. And yeah, that'll do it from us at All for Footy. And we're